Happy New Year! I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful new year. I hope it was restful and you enjoyed yourselves. So, what are your hopes for 2023? If you're like many others, you're resolved to lose weight, exercise more, or eat healthier. Well, today on Stress Talk Live, I'm encouraging you to set an intention or a resolution to reduce your stress levels. And guess what? We're going to get to it in just a moment. Welcome to Stress Talk Live. This is where we are helping women like you to live healthier lives through strategic stress management. I know this isn't the day that I normally do live streams, but I wanted to jump on this evening because yesterday was the holiday, and I figured, like me, you were not into hearing about stress. You were having a good time. I was enjoying my holiday with my family. So, before we get started, I always want to invite you to like, follow, and subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Now, let's get into the meat of what we're going to talk about today. And because I don't want to stay on here real long, but I want to give you what I have for you today. And what I have for you is basically a plan to help you to develop a stress reduction goal or a stress reduction resolution or to set an intention for stress reduction that is going to be long lasting. And I'm going to give you the components. I know that this is the time of year when many people have goals or set resolutions for physical health, right? They want to eat less, they want to exercise more. Also, I know people who also set resolutions for their financial health. They want to spend less money and they want to save more. Okay. Well, I've also have friends who have set goals for their spiritual health. So they have set intentions to meditate at least once daily. Some of them have decided that they want to attend church services more often. This is the thing with any goal or any resolution that we set, we have to have a plan in order to accomplish it. Now, while I am encouraging you to establish a stress reduction goal for the new year, I believe that stress reduction should be very key and very upfront with all of us because having high stress can impact everything that we're trying to do, and it can negatively affect our lives. So, I'm going to share three things with you today that will help you get started with a stress reduction plan that will be long lasting. As you know, that's what I talk about. I talk about long lasting stress reduction, not simple things that you can find on the internet, but strategies that will help you to maintain a low level of stress and to reduce the stress that is negatively impacting your life. So let's start with the first thing. The first thing that you need to do if you're going to make stress reduction a priority is to start at the beginning. That is first and foremost. So, how do you start at the beginning? First, you want to observe the situations that cause you to feel stress, that cause your stress levels to increase. And you know that you're experiencing stress because your body is going to tell you. Your heart is going to beat faster and harder. You may feel warm all over. Your muscles are going to stiffen. You may get a severe headache almost instantaneously. But there are going to be physical signs that your stress level has increased and increased to a level that is uncomfortable. So you want to observe those situations that cause you to feel increased stress. Next, you want to figure out the type of stress that you're experiencing. So, is it stress due to, um, is it overwhelming stress? Is it stress that is overwhelming and long lasting? Is it stress that is short lived? For example, when you go out and you notice that you have a flat tire and you're late for work, that is that's situational. And once it's relieved, once it's fixed, once you have your tire fixed and you get to work, it's over, right? But you might have stress that is ongoing. Remember, I've talked about different types of stress. I've talked about the sand net type of stress where it's a lot of little things, right? It's little things that are aggravating. I've also talked about ongoing stress where there are things that is just life. It's just the way life is, and you're just managing, you're going through. But I've also talked about situational stress that's overwhelming and compounding, where you're experiencing major happenings in your life, but you still have to deal with the ongoing life situational stress that you manage, as well as those little aggravating things. So you want to figure out the type of stress that you're experiencing. And then finally, you want to have an understanding of the intensity of that stress. Does that stress cause you to have chest pains, make you feel like you're having a heart attack? Does it make you feel as if your arms are going and your fingers are going numb? Do you sometimes feel as if your hands are constantly cold? What is the intensity of the stress that you experience? When you have an idea of these things, that's when you can start at the beginning. That's when you know your starting point. Think about it as if you're going on a trip. You always have a place that you're starting, and then you have a place that you're going, your destination. So you want to have clarity regarding where you're starting in terms of the stress that you experience on an ongoing basis. So, how do you figure that out? Well, one way to figure it out is to take my quiz. Are you blessed, stressed, or burned out? This is the quiz that I have that will help you to determine the level of stress, the types of stress, as well as the intensity that you're experiencing. And you can find this quiz at this link. When you go to this link, you're going to find not only the quiz, but you'll find some other resources for you. When you take the quiz, however, that your results will tell you the level, the type, as well as the intensity of the stress that you're experiencing, and you will get access to resources that will help you to relieve that stress. So, take the quiz. Are you blessed, stressed, or burned out? So, we've talked about starting at the beginning, knowing the stress that you're experiencing, the type of stress, knowing the level of stress, as well as the intensity. The second thing that you want to do as you're developing a stress reduction goal is you want to develop a measurable goal, right? You want to develop a goal that is clear and clearly written. So, how do you do that? Well, one thing you're going to do is you're going to clarify what your goal is. You're going to determine what you want to do. I talked about your starting point and your destination previously. You want to know what your destination is, and the goal that you develop will be your destination. How do you write that goal? You're going to use a format that's called SMART goals. Now, people in business, people who work for corporations, students, all have an understanding of SMART goals. A SMART goal is a goal that is written in a certain format. It has, and SMART is an acronym. It stands for, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. It stands for specific. You want your goal to be specific, meaning you don't want to have a goal that is very general. You can say, I want to reduce my stress. That is a general goal, it is not specific. So you want to have a goal that is specific. You also want it to be measurable. How else will you know what you're doing? How else will you know if you're making progress if it's not measurable? So you want to make sure that there's a component where you can measure how well you are progressing. You also want your goal to be achievable. What does that mean? You want it to be something that you can do, right? Also, you want it to be realistic. I know that some people say they want to be stress free. And I explain to them that it's impossible to be stress free. Our bodies stress is a part of our body function, and we have to have stress. There's actually good stress, and then there's overwhelming stress. So we have to have stress. It's part of who we are, it's what makes us human, and it's what keeps us safe. It keeps us motivated and moving. So to be stress free is not realistic. So, but you want to have an aspect of realism in your stress reduction goal. Finally, you want to have a way to know you want to have it. It must be time bound. That's the last part of the acronym. And time bound means that you want to set a date or an era, something that tells you it's time to end this work. So it must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. That is what a SMART goal is. So think of it like it's a roadmap, and it will help you not only know the direction that you need to go, it will help with accountability. That's one thing that when I'm working with women, I'm very big on accountability. I often give homework and I check in with you on that homework. So, accountability is very important. Having a SMART goal, a goal that's written in the SMART format, will help provide that accountability for you. The last aspect of, of a stress reduction plan is review. You always have to review so that you know you're going in the right direction. Again, you have a starting point, you have a destination, and you know the road you're going to travel. You have a roadmap, but you also need to review to make sure you're going in the direction you need to go in order to reach your destination. So, what do you want to review? First, you're going to assess your goal statement. You remember the SMART goal that you wrote. You want to assess it and determine if it is actually written in the SMART format. So you want to look at each part. You want to make sure that it's specific, that it's measurable, that it's achievable, realistic, and time bound. That's the first part of your assessment or your review. Second, you want to make sure that with each part or each component of your goal, that each component meets the standard of that component. Let me give you an example. Is it measurable? I gave you an example of I want to reduce my stress. Well, how are you going to measure that? Are you going to measure it by um, the incidents the responses that you experience or the reactions that you experience during the day? Are you going to measure it by the amount of sleep, restful sleep that you're going to get once stress is reduced? Will you measure it by how you respond to others when they start plucking that last nerve? How are you going to measure it? That's an important component. So, with each part, does the parts of your SMART goal meet the standard of that component? Finally, you want to evaluate and assess your progress towards stress reduction, towards your destination. And you want to do that often, because if you need to adjust or modify the actions that you're taking, you're able to do so in a way that fits your needs and helps you to get to your destination quicker. And that's part of what I try to do when I'm working with women. I want you to get to your destination, your end goal, faster, and I can help you to do that. So, we've talked about creating a roadmap or a plan to stress less, to reduce the stress in this new year. I talked to you and shared with you that first you want to start at the beginning. You want to know your beginning point. Second, you want to develop a measurable goal, and you want that goal to be written in using the SMART format. And then third, you want to review each part of your goal and each step to make sure that you are making the progress that you want to make. So, I want you to remember to like, follow, and subscribe to what? ML Bailey Consultants on Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Also, take the quiz. Are you blessed, stressed, or burned out? And once you get your results, it's a free quiz. Once you get your results, you'll get access to resources that will help you at the level that you are currently on in regards to your stress. Also, join me on Sundays at 7 p.m. I know it's Monday, but this is an impromptu broadcast. Join me on Sundays, please, at 7 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Marcelin Bailey. That's all for now. Take good care.